Anyone familiar with ancient Egypt or ancient Egyptian art would be familiar with this beautiful flower. This is the blue lotus flower. This was revered in ancient Egypt. In fact, blue lotus flowers were found in the tomb of Tutankhamun, which most probably means it was in a lot of the other tombs, which unfortunately had been robbed in antiquity. So it is a testament to how important this flower was. And its origin is across most of Egypt, but also it does grow in Asia. It has huge cultural importance, and the number of papyri which have this flower in them, in the artwork, as well as on the walls of tombs, are significant. Historians do believe that once it was used in traditional medicine for a huge amount of disorders, but mainly for disorders of anxiety and insomnia, and it is mentioned in ancient Egyptian medical papyri to be used with other elements for these purposes. It is known as an entheogenic drug. What does this mean? That it is a mind altering substance which allows one's consciousness to change in a spiritual or religious manner. And the two main compounds that are considered psychoactive and medicinal in this are apomorphine and luciferine. Apomorphine is a psychoactive compound that is a dopamine agonist, meaning it makes you feel happy, it gives you a feeling of euphoria. It can also help with muscle control, so it is being looked at as helping with the conditions of Parkinson's disease, as well as erectile dysfunction, which, given in ancient Egypt, it was revered as a sex stimulant. And of course, there is luciferine, which is a compound which is also considered to be antipsychotic. So this promotes feelings of calmness, though we don't really quite understand the mechanism that it does this. And again, because of the luciferine, it has been shown to improve symptoms of erectile dysfunction. Consuming of the blue lotus may make you feel high and give a gentle euphoria. And some people have confirmed that it is a similar high to cannabis. I have used Blue Lotus, and I have never, in the dosages that I have used it, ever had a feeling that would even approximate being high. But it does promote calmness. It's also useful in promoting dreams, and certainly when in the ancient world the practice of inhumation, that is sacred dreaming, one of the things that would happen was you would burn incense of blue lotus and you would drink blue lotus infused wine. And so one could say there is some evidence it was used as that. And some people using it in our day and age also claim that it has these qualities. I cannot, using it myself, confirm that this is in fact true. So it's most probably very specific to your unique biology. It is not illegal. except in the state of Louisiana. Do not be caught growing or using Blue Lotus in Louisiana. But there are no laws, whether in Australia, Europe, or the US, outside of the state of Louisiana. Now, when we talk about its psychoreactive effects, we have to talk about dosage. And I think this is where the possibility moves in that it could easily have these effects. But the amount you would have to take would be really quite large. Where if you're just taking it at light therapeutic dosages or using it in teas or incenses, you're not going to be taking it in the amounts that could cause hallucinations. And given this plant is not cheap, you would be spending a lot of money to get very little effect. But within the medicinal field, its effects are being looked at, and the door is still open as to regards its benefits and applicability as a therapeutic drug. Spiritually, it is ruled by the planet Venus, and its element is the water. And this kind of connects with its emotionally calmative effects. It is definitely sacred to the goddess Hathor, and this is something that was very well known in ancient Egypt. And its popularity in modern spirituality, but also a growing awareness of it within modern naturopathic medicine, means that this plant is becoming much more mainstream in both its use and as a result in its availability. As a means of connecting ourselves to the spirituality of ancient Egypt, that is for the individual practitioner. But that it is coming back into common usage is undeniable. 20 years ago, I remember making inquiries about getting Blue Lotus for the purposes of trying to make tinctures and in making incense, and you couldn't get it. Now, it's really quite easily available. Most New Age stores do stock it, herbalists stock it, health food stock it, and also herbal suppliers have it readily available, as its use as a calmative has gained popular acceptance amongst those who use more naturally based medicines. As a spiritual aid, it's definitely useful in promoting dreams, although one could get equally the same effect by using creative visualization and sensory stimulus. So the boat is pretty much out as to whether it would be effective. And the issue, of course, is what is the dosage you would need to gain that effect. And as with all natural medicines, if you are going to use it in large enough dose, I would definitely check with a healthcare provider, especially if you have any ongoing psychiatric conditions or you take other medicines. As it is a member of the water lily family, it potentially does have reactions with medications that you may take, and it is best to check in those things. But if you are using it for its spiritual purposes, especially if you're using it in incenses, tinctures, and teas, as well as smoking it, then it's relatively harmless. I personally find it an attractive flower, and I use it, especially when invoking the goddess Hathor, a deity to whom I am particularly devoted. And you could certainly use this plant for making incenses and libation liquids for Aphrodite, Inanna, Ishtar, any of the deities governed by the planet Venus. I've also found its use in invoking the daemon boon for it to be pretty applicable. And so I commend to you Blue Lotus, more than just an archaeological relic, but an increasingly popular and thus available sacred herb that you can add whether to your pharmacopoeia or to your spiritual practice. I am Dr. Shimon de Valencia, and I am also a merry mystic. And this has been our discussion on the ancient and increasingly popular Blue Lotus flower.